Today we're checking out Zoup's new 430 watt bifacial solar panel. This was just released, so we're going to be taking a quick look at this. We'll also do some testing just to see how well it does under some pretty hot extreme conditions. And hopefully by the end of this video, you'll know if this is a good item for you. Okay, now like all Zoup solar panels, they all come with these really nice cases. These are nice and thick. They also come with a pouch. And you're going to find anchors inside this particular solar panel. You're also going to get your extension cable, which this is about 12 feet long, and it does have MC4 connectors on it. But they also give you some adapters, so you can plug in that side to your extension cable, and then you're going to come over here and you'll have the barrel ports. This is going to be for like your Jackery, maybe Goal Zero units. Then you also have an Anderson connector for other types of power stations, along with the popular XT60, as this is used in many different brands, so this will work for several different types of power stations out there. Now this solar panel is going to consist of 4 panels. Each one of them is going to be roughly 807 watts. And this is using the newer N-type cells with 16 bus bars in them. And so they're using the latest cell designs that are being mass produced right now. And with them being N-type and bifacial, these solar panels are performing much better than a lot of brands out there, but also because they're light. If you take a look at the weight of this solar panel while it's inside the case with all the material, it's going to run just about 27.5 pounds. But when you weigh the solar panel alone, it comes out to just over 21 pounds, making this very light and portable, which is easy to handle. Okay, now if you have followed my channel for a while, you know I love these solar panels because of how quick and how easy these are to set up. It takes less than a minute to get this set up, and then you just simply lay this back onto the legs, and then boom, this thing is ready to go. And it's the same way when it comes time to clean this thing up. It is super easy to put away. Just simply fold your legs down. You're going to pick it up by the 2 handles and then just simply bring it in towards you and walk away. Now these are upgraded legs from the original design, but when you do set this up, you don't get a whole lot of adjustments. So you can move this back and forth, which will change the angle a little bit. And someday maybe they'll come out with some kind of a leg that can collapse a little bit more or adjust. I would like that feature. That's just me, but this is the most common setup as far as your angle, which is why I don't think they put something that can collapse or expand a little bit more, because that could become a problem point. Now, as you look at your junction box, you have one right here, and then this connects to the other panel, which then it goes through the frame. And I like this design because they leave some slack. This was a problem in early models from other brands, but they addressed that issue, and so now you don't have to worry about when you close this or open it that it's not going to pinch. And then when you come over here to the other side where your junction boxes are, this is where you will find the MC4 connectors. Now when it comes to the specs, it is a little bit hard to see, so if you take a look at the manual here, you'll see that your open circuit voltage is 43.1 volts, and your short circuit current is going to be right about 12.3 amps. And then under ideal conditions, you should be able to get about 430 watts out of this, maybe even a little bit more. And when you close this up, there are a couple straps just to help keep this together while you are transporting it. And another nice thing they did add was some rubber around these handles, because believe it or not, the frames here do get pretty hot after it's been outside for a long time. So this was a nice addition so you don't burn your hands when you pick it up. Okay, so now let's go ahead and do some testing just to see how well it performs. Okay, so we have the solar panel out here. Now I've had this outside for about 20 minutes, and we're going to try 2 different tests with it angled as far as using the legs, because remember earlier when I mentioned the legs don't really have a whole lot of adjustment, but this is the most common angle. But we're also going to put it flatter and more direct line of the sun. That way we can just try 2 different tests. Now the reason I put this out here for 20 minutes is so it can heat soak. And so I've been talking about this for years as far as heat soak. So what that means is that this solar panel, this animate object here, is going to absorb or retain all of the heat or energy that's coming off the sun. And then once it gets to its max temperature, it is now fully heat soaked. And what that does, it decreases our output, because it is super hot out here today. It is going to be about 104 today, and it's already about 99. So that means the output of this solar panel is going to be less. So we're giving it its worst possible conditions. And so just so you can see, here is the temperature of the concrete right now, 120 degrees. And now if we do about 3 feet off of the solar panel, you can see it's about 129, 130 degrees basically. We'll do another shot over there, and again 134 right there. So this solar panel is super hot, so expect the full output to be way less than the 430. Okay, as far as the angle goes, we're pretty perpendicular with the sun. Now, as far as the angle, we are a little off, and of course, you can just use the can trick if you want, which you can see if we angle this back, the shadow goes away. So, we are not in perfect angle with the sun, which is why we're going to do that other test, and we'll line it up in a minute, but it just means it needs to lay back a little bit. But this is how you're going to use the solar panel in basically your real-world conditions. So, let's just take a look and see what it's outputting. So we're going to use the Bluetti Elite 300, and so far you can see, look at that, we're getting 388 watts, which honestly that's pretty darn good and a little higher than I was expecting just because of the temperatures, because you really do lose so much. So out of the max 430, depending on, you know, the temperatures and everything, we're getting almost 390, and again, that's been out here for a good 25 minutes now. Okay, now I have this a little bit more angled to the sun directly. If you put the soda can right here, we're almost perfect, so that's good enough. Again, most real world conditions, you're not going to be doing all this. You're going to set it up. It'll be out here for a few hours. You'll move it once, maybe twice, and call it good. But now if we come back and look at our power station, take a look here, it's actually pretty much stayed the same. That's probably because the solar panel is still continuing to suck up heat and our performance is going to go down, because remember, the temperatures are only going up. We still have a good another 5 degrees, maybe 6 degrees to go until we hit our peak temperatures for today. So I don't expect these numbers to get any better in these types of conditions. Okay, and one last test, which we have this on this concrete pad here, so this helps reflect some light onto the back for that bifacial gain. So we'll see if we get a few extra watts with it being on the concrete versus when we had it over on the grass that was helping absorb more of those reflective rays that are coming down, versus this, the light rays are bouncing all over the place and scattering more onto the back of this panel. So let's see what extra we get. Okay, so now as we take a look at our power station, we were about 385 before, and look at that, 393. So we have gone up a few watts by taking advantage of some of that reflection, almost 10 watts basically, so that's not too bad. Okay, now that we've seen that test footage, when it does come to each one of these panels, they are wired in parallel. So that means if you shade this panel, the other three are going to continue to work, giving you about 107 watts out of each panel, but under ideal conditions. Now, one thing with these solar panels is that when you shade about the bottom third of it, you typically lose half of the output of this solar panel. Now, according to Zoup, they have 8 bypass diodes, so the top half of this panel would continue to work, while the bottom half is actually shaded. Which, when testing, you get maybe 50 watts out of the top or bottom section, depending on which side is shaded. But once you shade this solar panel about 30 to 40% or more, then that's when your output will drop pretty much down to maybe 5 or 10 watts just for that one panel, and then the other 3 panels will continue to put out the maximum amount of wattage depending on the type of conditions. Now, when it comes to portable solar panels, honestly, I have tested a lot over my travels with my RV and more. And when it comes to this type of design, and not to mention just the Zoup brand in general, they are pretty much killing it when it comes to the portable market. They usually have the best prices. They're giving you extension cables and adapters with a really nice case. So when it comes to portable solar panels, they are usually one of the best ones that you should be considering. Now, if you're curious about this, you can check the link down below for current pricing and also discounts. I hope you guys liked the video, and I hope to see you guys in another one.